People like you ought to stick to your lane. I'm terribly sorry, ma'am.
You've encountered my wife.
In the heart of California's sun-drenched Palm Springs, where the desert met luxury in a haze of opulent resorts, Evelyn Harper stood poised with a tray of sparkling cocktails. The Oasis Grand Resort was a playground for the wealthy, a place where Hollywood executives rubbed shoulders with tech moguls under swaying palm trees. Evelyn, a poised black woman in her mid-40s, had been serving drinks poolside all afternoon, her uniform crisp despite the relentless heat. But nothing prepared her for the storm about to erupt. It started with a simple spill. A guest's elbow knocked a glass of rose onto the tiled deck, splashing across the expensive sandals of Mrs. Lorraine Baxter, a sharp-featured woman in a designer sundress, her platinum blonde hair perfectly coiffed. Lorraine's eyes narrowed like daggers as she looked up at Evelyn. "I don't know what backwater town you slithered out of, but around here, we expect competence," Lorraine hissed, her voice laced with disdain. "People like you ought to stick to your lane." Evelyn met her gaze steadily, her voice calm and professional. "I'm terribly sorry, ma'am. Let me clean that up for you right away." "Don't you dare stare at me like that," Lorraine snapped, leaning in closer, her breath reeking of wine and entitlement. In a flash, her hand shot out, shoving Evelyn hard in the chest. The world tilted as Evelyn stumbled backward, plunging into the resort's pristine infinity pool with a resounding splash. Water enveloped her, chlorine stinging her eyes, her uniform ballooning around her like a defeated flag. Gasps rippled through the crowd of affluent guests lounging on chaise longues. Smartphones whipped out instantly, capturing the moment for social media glory. Lorraine dusted her hands off with a smug grin. "That's what you get for getting uppity with your betters. Have you ever been stripped of your dignity in front of a crowd, wondering if standing up for yourself was worth the price?" Evelyn pulled herself out of the pool, water streaming from her clothes, her composure unbroken. She wrung out her apron methodically, ignoring the tremors in her hands. This wasn't her first brush with such ugliness. 5 years earlier, in a high-end club in Los Angeles, she'd heard similar slurs. "Folks like you don't fit in here." That experience had ignited a fire in her, leading her to infiltrate the system to expose it from within. Resort manager Harold Jenkins hurried over, his face a mask of feigned sympathy. At 52, he'd mastered the art of pandering to power while stepping on the powerless. "Evelyn, what on earth happened? Are you okay?" Before she could respond, Lorraine interjected sharply. "Your staff attacked me. She deliberately spilled that drink on my shoes and got aggressive when I told her to fix it." Harold's eyes flicked to Lorraine's gold VIP bracelet, the kind that unlocked penthouse suites and endless perks. His posture stiffened. "I understand. Evelyn, why don't you head home and dry off? We'll talk about this in the morning." "She needs to be fired on the spot," Lorraine demanded, her tone brooking no argument. "Do you have any idea who I am? My husband, Reginald, has ties in every corner of the hospitality world. This girl won't work anywhere decent again." Evelyn's soaked notepad slipped from her pocket. Its pages of meticulous notes, guest interactions, staff biases, managerial oversights, no smudged, but salvageable after 11 months of undercover work. She pressed the pages flat. "I completely understand, Mr. Jenkins." Her unflappable demeanor rattled Harold more than any outburst would have. Most employees broke under pressure. Evelyn's poise hinted at hidden depths. Maria Gonzalez, the longtime housekeeper, appeared with a towel, draping it over Evelyn's shoulders. "Why aren't you furious? This is outrageous." "I've witnessed worse," Evelyn replied softly. "This is precisely what I anticipated." Security was summoned via Harold's radio. Meanwhile, a young guest named Amanda streamed the incident live on her phone, the viewer count surging past 1,500. Comments poured in, classic Karen move clashing with "she probably deserved it." The algorithm thrived on the drama, amplifying it nationwide. As Evelyn walked toward the staff area, her phone buzzed a text from her collaborator. "How's the fieldwork progressing, Dr. Harper?" She replied swiftly, "Hypothesis confirmed. Patterns documented." Lorraine spotted the exchange. "Texting your thug boyfriend? Or maybe your parole officer?" The gathering crowd murmured, some filming, others averting their eyes in complicit silence. Evelyn pocketed her phone. "Actually, my colleague. We've been examining bias in service industries for almost a year." Lorraine's laughter was brittle. "Examining? Sweetie, the only thing you should examine is how to serve properly." In the HR office, which smelled of stale coffee and dashed hopes, Evelyn faced Gloria Ramirez, a Latina woman in her late 50s whose kind eyes belied her company allegiance. Termination forms lay on the desk, a silent threat. "Evelyn, I've handled these cases for 25 years, Gloria said. "Good folks lose everything over less." Through the window, Lorraine animatedly retold her version to her entourage, embellishing with each recount. Evelyn produced her damp notebook. "I've logged 15 discriminatory acts today alone. Care to review the evidence?" Gloria's brow furrowed. Employees usually pleaded. They didn't offer data. "Evidence? You're a server here." "I'm researching institutional prejudice in resorts," Evelyn explained, flipping to time-stamped entries. Mrs. Baxter's actions fit established escalation models from 21 other sites. Harold burst in, panicked. "Gloria, it's exploding online. Pool push is trending." His phone showed multi-angle footage of the shove, comments splitting along ideological lines. Outrage over racism versus denial of any issue. Cancellations flooded in. The resort's reputation plummeted. Lorraine threatened lawsuits unless Evelyn was axed. Evelyn noted it all: managerial panic, ethical dilemmas, profit-driven decisions. Who's Marcus? Harold demanded, glimpsing her phone. Your partner in crime? My research associate, Evelyn said with a faint smile. We've documented this for months. A sleek black SUV pulled up outside. Harold dismissed it as Evelyn's ride. But Gloria's instincts tingled. Evelyn, is there more to your story? Evelyn handed over a business card. Dr. Elena Harper, Ph.D. in Social Dynamics, Stanford Graduate School of Business. Harold scoffed. Fake. You're scamming us. Verify with the registrar, Evelyn said evenly. Plus my 52 publications on service sector inequities. The room froze. Gloria pieced it together. Undercover research, legal backing, irrefutable proof. Through the window, a tall, distinguished black man in a tailored suit stepped from the SUV. Recognition: Don Marcus Thompson, billionaire CEO of Thompson Legacy Resorts, controlling 15% of California's luxury market. Harold paled. Impossible. You're just staff. Evelyn returned the termination papers. Reconsider that. Marcus entered the lobby, his presence commanding silence. I'm here for my wife. Whispers erupted. Billionaires' wives didn't serve drinks unless plotting something monumental. At the pool, Lorraine boasted obliviously. I put her in her place. Some need reminding of hierarchy. Marcus approached, his voice cutting through. Mrs. Baxter, you've encountered my wife. Lorraine's face drained. Your wife, Dr. Elena Harper. Marcus confirmed, showing their wedding photo. She's been studying resort biases for 11 months. Amanda's stream hit 40,000 viewers, comments erupting. Epic twist, versus, this is staged. Marcus detailed Elena's credentials: Stanford Ph.D., publications in top journals, upcoming testimony before a House Committee on Labor Equity. Harold rushed out. Mr. Thompson, a misunderstanding. You sided with an assailant over your employee, Marcus said coldly. Based on wealth, not justice? Security hovered as Lorraine's denials crumbled. She was aggressive. Footage proved otherwise. Marcus outlined charges: assault, hate crime enhancements. Federal penalties up to 12 years. The board meeting loomed. Thompson Legacy was eyeing acquisition. Marcus displayed analytics. Social media plunge, $1.8 million in lost bookings, stock dip. Lorraine pleaded. My husband, Reginald, of Baxter Investments handles your funds, $250 million. Handled, Marcus corrected. Contract terminated. Her world shattered. Assets lost, lifestyle gone. Elena emerged, notebook in hand. Mr. Jenkins, your bias in response times. Guest resolved in 3 minutes. Staff grievances ignored. Marcus presented the Thompson Accord. Firings, trainings, audits, donations to ACLU. Elena as equity director at $180,000 salary. Board chairman called. We'll adopt it fully. Harold signed resignation. Lorraine faced bans, service hours. 6 months later, Oasis Grand thrived under reform. Zero bias reports, satisfaction soared. Elena's research spurred the Service Equity Act. Elena addressed the American Resort Association. One push exposed systemic flaws. We've cut incidents by 92%, saved $1.9 billion in suits. A year on, her story inspired reforms across sectors. What do you think about violence and injustice in everyday life? Share your opinions in the comments. Take a stand on whether such acts deserve swift consequences or if forgiveness has a place. Express your views. Let's discuss how we can build a fairer world.